My friend Rachel has been a flight attendant for 12 years. She has seen everything, but nothing prepared her for the passenger on Flight 437 last month. A man in economy pressed the call button. Rachel walked over with a smile. "How can I help you, sir?" The man looked at her like she had insulted him. He said, "I want fresh squeezed orange juice. Not from a bottle. Fresh. From actual oranges." Rachel politely explained the plane does not have fresh oranges or a juicer. They have bottled orange juice, apple juice, or water. The man's face turned red. "I paid for this ticket. I deserve proper service. Do you know how much I spent?" Rachel could guess. About $120 on sale. That is exactly what he paid. The man demanded to speak to the captain. Rachel tried to calm him down. "The captain is preparing for takeoff. I can get you orange juice from a bottle or another beverage." The man stood up and threw his empty plastic cup at her. It bounced off her shoulder. He shouted he wanted a free upgrade to first class as compensation. The plane had not even left the ground. Security escorted the man off the plane. He was screaming the entire way. He was going to sue. He was being discriminated against. The other passengers applauded when he left. Rachel said it took her 20 minutes to stop shaking. That was when she realized something. A certain type of passenger believes buying a ticket makes them royalty. These are their stories. It was a Tuesday morning flight from New York to Los Angeles. A full plane. A flight attendant named Marcus was greeting passengers. He noticed a woman walk past her assigned row and continue to first class. She sat in seat 2A, the premium window seat. Marcus checked his manifest. No upgrades. Seat 2A was assigned to Mr. Chen, who paid $1,200. Marcus approached the woman. "Excuse me, ma'am, may I see your boarding pass?" She waved her hand. "I am already settled. I do not want to move." Marcus said he needed to verify her seat. She pulled out her boarding pass. It said 42F, the last row, middle seat, next to the bathroom. Marcus explained gently, "Ma'am, your seat is 42F in the back. This is seat 2A in first class. You need to move." The woman looked at him like he was speaking a foreign language. "I am already comfortable here. The plane is big. Someone else can take that other seat." Marcus explained, "Seats are assigned. The person who paid for 2A will be here soon." The woman crossed her arms. "I do not see anyone here right now. Possession is 9/10 of the law. This is my seat now." Marcus remained professional. That is not how airline seating works. He showed her the seat number on the overhead bin. 2A. He showed her boarding pass. 42F. They do not match. She needed to move. The woman demanded to see proof this was not her seat. Marcus was confused. "Your boarding pass is the proof. It clearly says 42F. She shook her head. "That is an error in your system. I always fly first class. This must be my seat." Other passengers were boarding. An older gentleman approached. "Excuse me, I believe you are in my seat." "I am 2A. He showed his boarding pass. The woman barely glanced at it. "Your boarding pass is wrong. I am sitting here. Take another seat." Marcus called his supervisor. The supervisor came and had the same conversation. The woman would not budge. The supervisor checked her ticket purchase. Economy Basic. $95 on a discount website, the cheapest possible fare. The supervisor explained this. She became indignant. That is price discrimination. Just because I paid less does not mean I deserve a worse seat. I am a paying customer. The supervisor tried a different approach. "Ma'am, seat 2A costs $1,200. Your seat costs $95. If you want to sit here, you need to pay the difference." The woman was offended. "I am not paying extra for a seat I am already sitting in. That is extortion." Boarding had stopped. The entire line was waiting. Passengers stood in the aisle watching. 20 minutes passed. Then 30. The captain came out of the cockpit. A man in his 60s with zero patience. He walked up to the woman. "Ma'am, I am the captain. You have two choices. Move to your assigned seat immediately or leave the plane. Those are your only options. We are not departing until you decide." The woman started yelling. This was the worst customer service she had ever experienced. She was being bullied, harassed. She had done nothing wrong, just sitting in a seat. The captain did not argue. He signaled to the gate agent. 2 security officers came on board. The captain told them to remove the passenger. She was interfering with flight operations. The woman screamed as they escorted her out. She was going to sue everyone: the airline, the captain, the flight attendants, the man whose seat she stole. The entire plane watched in silence. Once she was gone, Mr. Chen finally sat down. The flight departed 45 minutes late. A week later, Marcus saw the woman had left a 1-star review. She claimed she had been violently removed from her first-class seat that she had paid for. She said the airline discriminated against her and physically assaulted her. Someone found her review and posted it on social media, along with security footage. The footage clearly showed her boarding pass with seat 42F. It showed her refusing to move. The video went viral. She became an example of entitled passenger behavior. A flight attendant named Sophia was working a 3-hour afternoon flight from Chicago to Denver. Routine route, standard service with drinks and a meal. About 20 minutes after takeoff, she started beverage service. She got to row 12. A man in a business suit pressed his call button before she even reached him. "Yes, sir. How can I help you?" The man said, "I would like to see your wine list, please." Sophia smiled. "Of course. We have red wine or white wine, both in small bottles." The man looked confused. "No, I mean the wine list, the selection. What varieties do you have?" Sophia explained they had 1 red and 1 white. The man's confusion turned to disbelief. "You do not have a sommelier on board? How am I supposed to choose a wine without proper guidance? This is unacceptable." Sophia remained polite. "Sir, this is a domestic flight in economy class. We have limited beverage options. Would you like red or white?" The man shook his head. He would skip the wine if those were the only options. He asked to see the menu. Sophia handed him the snack box menu. He looked at it for 5 seconds. "No, the real menu." "From the chef?" "I want to know what the meals are." Sophia told him the options. Chicken with rice or pasta with marinara sauce. The man stared at her. "That is it. What about fish? Seafood? Vegetarian options? Where is the selection?" Sophia explained on a 3-hour domestic flight. Those were the 2 meal options. The man was genuinely shocked. He needed to speak to the manager of the kitchen. Sophia told him there was no kitchen manager. The food was prepared by a catering company before the flight. The man chose chicken. 20 minutes later, Sophia brought his meal. He took 1 bite and pressed the call button. "This is cold. I need you to heat it properly." Sophia said the meals were heated in the galley oven and this was as hot as they get. The man said it was unacceptable. Sophia took the meal back and warmed it again. She brought it back. Still not hot enough. He wanted it done again. Sophia explained she could not heat it anymore without burning it. The man then asked for fresh ground black pepper. Sophia brought him a pepper packet. He looked at it with disgust. "I mean fresh ground. From a pepper mill. By a server at the table." Sophia told him they do not have pepper mills on the plane. The man said this was exactly what he meant by poor service. "How can you call this a meal service without basic restaurant amenities?" Then the man pulled out his laptop and set it on his tray table. After 2 minutes, he called Sophia again. "This tray table is too low. I need a laptop stand. My neck is cramping." Sophia said they do not have laptop stands. The man asked what business travelers are supposed to do. Sophia suggested he put the laptop on his lap. The man said that was insufficient. He wanted proper ergonomic support. The man then demanded a footrest. Sophia said they do not have footrests. He asked for an extra pillow. Sophia brought him a pillow. He said it was too soft. Sophia apologized and said that was all they had. The man started complaining loudly to other passengers. The airline did not care about customer comfort. This was the worst flight he had ever been on. For the rest of the flight, the man called Sophia every 10 minutes. More water, different snack, cold. Needed a blanket. Blanket too thin. Could he have two? Actually, three. His seat was uncomfortable. The person in front reclined. Could she tell them to move their seat up? By the time they landed, Sophia had visited his seat at least 20 times. After everyone deplaned, the man approached the gate desk. Sophia overheard him demanding a refund. The quality of service did not meet his expectations. The gate agent asked if there was a specific problem. The man listed everything: the wine selection, the meal temperature, the lack of a pepper mill, the absence of laptop stands and footrests. The gate agent pulled up his booking. "Sir, you purchased an economy ticket for $80 using a promotional code. The service you received is standard for that fare class." The man said the price should not matter. All passengers deserve good service. The gate agent explained different ticket prices come with different service levels. The man said that was discriminatory and he would file a formal complaint. 2 weeks later, Sophia heard the complaint had come through. 10 pages long. Single-spaced. It detailed every single interaction, every perceived slight, every missing amenity. The man demanded a full refund plus compensation for emotional distress. The airline responded with a polite letter explaining their service standards and declining the refund. Sophia kept a copy in her locker to show new flight attendants during training as an example of entitled passengers. After years of collecting stories from flight attendant friends, I have assembled what I call the Audacity Collection. These are short stories that seem too ridiculous to be true. But every single one was verified by multiple crew members. Story 1. A woman boarded a 4-hour flight with her 7-year-old son. As soon as they reached cruising altitude, she pressed the call button. "I need you to watch my son for the rest of the flight. I deserve some rest." The flight attendant explained crew members cannot babysit children. The woman said, "I paid for this ticket. That includes childcare." The woman spent the next hour complaining to anyone who would listen. Story 2. A man tried to charge his electric scooter in the bathroom. He found the razor outlet and plugged in his adapter. Within minutes, the outlet sparked and caused a small electrical fire. The smoke alarm went off. When told he could have caused a major safety incident, he said the airline should have better electrical systems then. Story 3. A passenger removed his shoes and socks and placed his bare feet on the armrest of the seat in front of him. His toes were inches from the other passenger's face. When asked to put his feet down, he refused. He said he paid for his seat and his feet were part of his body. Eventually, the captain threatened to land the plane if he did not comply. Story 4. A woman brought a live chicken on board in a small carrier. When questioned, she said it was her emotional support animal. The flight attendant asked to see documentation. The woman produced a letter she had clearly written herself. Just a note that said, "I need my chicken." The chicken was not allowed. The woman missed her flight and blamed the airline for not accommodating disabilities. Story 5. A man demanded that an entire row of 3 seats be cleared for him alone. He said he was claustrophobic and needed space. The flight attendant explained the other seats were assigned to other passengers. When the actual passengers arrived and sat down, the man had a panic attack. He demanded the flight be stopped. He voluntarily deplaned, still insisting the airline was violating his rights. Story 6. During a flight at 35,000 feet, a passenger tried to open the emergency exit door. He pulled on the handle with both hands. A flight attendant stopped him. He said it was stuffy and he wanted fresh air. When told that opening the door would depressurize the cabin and kill everyone, he said he did not know that. He thought it was like opening a car window. He was restrained and arrested upon landing. Story 7. A woman purchased in-flight Wi-Fi for $8. After connecting, she ran a speed test. The Wi-Fi was slower than her home internet. She called the flight attendant and demanded a refund for her entire ticket. Not the Wi-Fi, the whole ticket. She said if the airline could not provide adequate internet speeds, the whole flight was worthless. She did not get a refund. Story 8. A woman asked the flight attendant when they would be making a stop. The flight attendant said it was a direct flight with no stops. The woman said that was unacceptable. She had forgotten something important in another city and needed the plane to stop there. The flight attendant explained commercial flights cannot change routes for individual passengers. The woman demanded to speak to the pilot. The woman spent the rest of the flight writing a complaint about inflexible airline policies. After sharing these stories with friends, one asked me how flight attendants deal with this behavior every day. I told him what my friend Rachel said. People lose all common sense when they get on a plane. They think buying a ticket for $100 means they bought a private jet and a personal servant. They do not understand that an airplane is a shared public space with safety regulations. Another flight attendant told me entitled passengers always reveal themselves in the first 10 minutes. They snap their fingers to get attention. They talk down to crew members. They make demands instead of requests. They act like the rules do not apply to them. After 20 years in the industry, she can spot an entitled passenger from across the cabin. The most frustrating part is that these passengers never face real consequences. They might get kicked off one flight, but they just book another. They might be banned from one airline, but they fly with a competitor. They leave bad reviews, but airlines mostly ignore them. There is no central database of nightmare passengers. So entitled travelers just keep moving through the system, making everyone's life harder. One veteran flight attendant with 30 years of experience told me, "The airplane is a test of character. How people behave when they are tired, cramped, and uncomfortable shows who they really are. Some people are kind and patient. But entitled people think their comfort is more important than everyone else's. They think the rules do not apply to them. And they genuinely believe that paying for a ticket gives them the right to treat other human beings like servants."